ready for the Zags coming up. Immediately following this game, and what a good one we have here at Rupp Arena. 55-50. San Diego. Who would have thunk it? In front, 7:38 left to play. Jones makes one of 2 free throws.
You know Patterson is in the game plan to get a touch on the low block on this possession. There it is. There's what happens when he touches it.
Bounce pass to Curry, and you called it off the glass and in. Pretty good passer out of the post.
Yeah, he really is. It's a great cut by Curry. And expect that trend to continue for Kentucky the next 7 minutes of this ball game.
3rd assist for Patterson in the game, and Crawford is called for the foul. 19 fouls, so Jackson will shoot 1 and 1.
For Kentucky, you don't want to foul now and allow San Diego to keep control over the lack of momentum in this ball game. To win on the road, you've got to have the ability to throw it to the low block, silence the crowd with an easy 2-point basket, or get yourself to the free throw stripe. If you're Kentucky, don't allow San Diego to stay in this ball game with a lead by stopping the clock and silencing the crowd.
San Diego, a pretty good free throw shooting team. Deshaun Jackson with 3, perfect from the line. Torero 70% from the line as a team. Jackson makes it a 5-point game.
Now, if Patterson gets a touch, you know San Diego's going to respond to it. What does the perimeter do off of it? Now maybe a perimeter shot will be freed up off a Patterson touch. There it is.
Weak shot doesn't go. Jody Meeks still trying to get into a rhythm. Missed the last game. But at 21 against Houston, and boy, to stop Brandon Johnson today.
He is money, isn't he? He is very competitive, first of all, and you have to have a very competitive mindset when you're 6 feet tall and play for San Diego and you come and play in front of 23,000 at Rupp, and he is.
Curry is fouled by Tremaine Johnson. The recipient of a nice pass.
Brandon Johnson has done most of his damage in this ball game by being aggressive and his speed dribbling the basketball, but now he spots up, and you also have to respect his three-point ability. With 27 makes coming in on the year, he's their best three-point option. So the offense for Kentucky will go through the hands of Patrick Patterson on one end. The offense for San Diego will go through Brandon Johnson on the other with 6 and change to go.
Foul is on Tremaine Johnson, his 4th, so he'll go to the bench. And Devin Ginty back into the game. Ginty, the freshman walk-on, started the last game against Texas San Antonio with 3 threes in this contest.
Kentucky cannot afford to give away points at that free throw stripe. You see the pace of the game, the time remaining. You're getting down to where you can count the number of possessions right now for both teams by using both hands.
It's defended by Crawford. Partially blocked from behind by Bradley.
Patterson is still laboring, running up and down that floor. That leg does not feel 100%, but you still go to your hoss, and 54 in white is your hoss.
He wants it. They get it down to
there you go.
On the back of Patterson.
Well, that's why you go to him if you're Kentucky. You have now stopped the clock. You allow Patrick Patterson to go to the free throw stripe, who is a very good free throw shooter for a young freshman and his size.
Second foul on Palmer. Team 7, so Patterson will shoot 1 and 1. Stevenson comes back, Curry to take a seat. Patterson with 18 in this game. Perfect from the line, 4 of 4.
Lou just got past to note that Vanderbilt hung on win, so Vanderbilt still with an unblemished record. Again, 2 teams out of the SEC are part of the 8 that are unbeaten, 2 from the ACC. From there, the Pac-10 has 1, Conference USA, Memphis has 1, the Big 12, the Big East. All with a single team that still has not been beaten.
Patterson now with 20 in this game. 60-55.
Bill Greer trying to spread that floor. I think he thinks that Jones with that basketball and Johnson have the ability to drive against this Kentucky pressure.
chases down Ginty. The foul is on Crawford. His third.
Watch Crawford right here, just runs right into the screen. And I go back to part of my traits of toughness, refuse to be screened. And part of refusing to be screened is having vision of where screeners are, where the basketball is, not running into a screener 30 feet from the basket in the open floor.
Ginty with his free throw there. His first of the season, now with a dozen. 13 for Devin Ginty.
Bill Greer has done an outstanding job of keeping his club not only in the game, but with the lead with 5:30 to go in Rupp Arena. Again, it's a club that's 6-8 on the year. His game plan of how they've defended Patterson and his answer on the offensive end has been very impressive.
Patterson got it, threw it up and missed the shot. Here comes Brendan Johnson.
Not tough enough to come away with a traffic rebound that time for Kentucky, and it could cost him.
Ginty faked the three and lost it. Got caught underneath.
No need for Ginty to try to make that play with a lead on the road.
Crawford looking for room. Off the glass. Made something happen. Went to the bucket. Found an opening and comes up with two. Back to the 5-point for San Diego.
Lou, Kentucky's defense has to make something happen right now. If it's just locking down, cleaning up the miss, that's fine. But their defense has to answer the bell with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Their defense has been good at times this year and real bad at other times. Jones all the way to the bucket. Doesn't go.
See, they didn't answer the bell. Jones just missed a shot because he drove that ball from 23 feet out on the floor and got all the way to the rim. Kentucky's very fortunate that it's not 64 points instead of 62 for San Diego.
What are they not doing defensively that they should be doing in this game? Almost gave it up there, Kentucky did. On the floor. Brandon Johnson came out with it. Ginty all alone. And he buries the three. Wow. 4 triples in this game for the walk-on freshman.
To quickly answer your question, Kentucky, they've been burned by three-point shooting. They've been burned by guys that have beaten them off the bounce. Their help defense, their communication has not been solid. When Kentucky wins, it's because of their defense, and it has not been there in this ball game.
Patterson with the turnover there. San Diego, its largest lead in this game, 8. And time running out on Kentucky.
I like the timeout by Bears
with a three-pointer to win it, 67-66 for the Badgers. Ryan Bradley knocks down the free throw.
You know, last Saturday was a Saturday to remember, and boy, meaningful games all day long last week. This Saturday, I'm telling you, just as meaningful games on our air. The first one and the next 3 after this one are heavyweight bouts.
6-point game. We approach the 3-minute mark.
Kentucky is desperate for back-to-back shutouts. That's another sign of toughness. And you get back-to-back stops when the game's on the line.
And they put Crawford on Johnson. Johnson almost gave it up.
Now Johnson will go to work off the bounce with the shot clock winding down. Kentucky chases him. Good job.
Ginty finds Jackson, rolling to the bucket, uses the right hand. But who was there to clean up a Palmer?
The toughest guy around the rim in this ball game has been Gino Palmer. Getting those traffic two-hand rebounds on the defensive end and some key putbacks on the offensive end.
Almost as many offensive rebounds as defensive, and Kentucky gives it up. Gino Palmer.
Lou, back-to-back mistakes. You don't clean up an offensive rebound by Kentucky, and then you come down and turn it over. Tough teams, championship teams, they don't make back-to-back mistakes late in the game.
Jones, defended by Patterson.
Greer is really trusting Johnson and Jones just to maybe dribble this game out on the perimeter. Let them control it off the bounce.
San Diego chewing up the clock. We're under 10 on the shot clock. Jackson against Harris. Right around Harris. Had it partially blocked there by Stevenson. Who gives it right back to Brandon Johnson. What a gift.
You got to be kidding me. From the time you're in the 3rd grade, you're taught if you have the ball underneath the other to the team's basket, never do what Kentucky just did. That's how you lose on your home floor to a team that's 6-8 right there.
Brandon Johnson called for the blocking foul. San Diego enjoys its largest lead in this game.
Stevenson rotates over, and as he's falling out of bounds, if you're losing your momentum, you better throw a fastball to the other end of the floor or throw it at somebody's feet.
Bradley makes the free throw. And shoot another. That's not a sign you want to see if you're a Kentucky fan. But this thing is not over. I mean, you're down 8 points with almost 2 minutes to go. Gillespie brings in the shooter, Meek. Stevenson takes a seat. Bradley made the free throws, but he's had a tough of it from the floor today. Just 2 of 10 from the field.
I think you got to be aggressive and foul here. Kentucky has not shown the ability to stop San Diego. There it is. A little late, but finally got a foul.
Johnson right through the pressure. Had a 3-on-1 break and drew the foul from Patterson. 4th foul on Patterson.
Brandon Johnson has played his heart out. And he has had a lot of pressure on him handling that basketball in the second 20 minutes for Bill Greer. And he has played with a huge Valentine underneath that dark blue jersey. Has not turned that thing over, has been tough with it. Has just toyed with every Kentucky defender that they have put on him. And he's controlled the game off of the bounce for Bill Greer.
Last year's defense at San Diego allowed 74 points a game. This year, Torero's 3rd in the West Coast Conference and fewest points allowed at 64 points a contest. And they haven't allowed an opponent to score 80 or more in a game this season. We've seen some tough defense from San Diego today.
And in the first game of what could be called the SEC-WCC doubleheader with Tennessee and Gonzaga coming up next.
Nice call. Bradley lays it up
on that in that next ball game.
What a great motivator as well. Bruce Pearl and 12th-ranked Tennessee coming up against Gonzaga right here on ESPN2. Part of our madness of college basketball today. Again, the first game we brought you saw Wisconsin pull off an upset of 9th-ranked Texas in Austin. Plenty of long faces here at Rupp Arena.
And Lou, I know this is not what we call the normal Kentucky team, and, a Sweet 16 type run, but you cannot take away from what San Diego has done in this ball game today, because Kentucky still has guys like Bradley and Crawford and Patterson. Jasper played some minutes today. Meeks was back on the floor. And for them to come in here and execute, change their defense with great precision, kept Kentucky off balance on the offensive end, and they had to have an answer. When they 3-point shot went away from San Diego, they had an answer, and it resolved around number 1, Brandon Johnson.
Bradley's shot off the glass goes up and in.
Quick to stand. I need an answer.
No, they better not. But my guess is, do they even eat hot dogs and M&Ms in San Diego?
Oh, this is a gamble.
And Jackson takes a tumble. And San Diego comes up with the basketball after having it batted around a couple of times. Bad pass by the Toreros to start the whole process. San Diego catches a break, ends up with the basketball, and will go to the line. The foul's on Crawford, his 4th. And Brandon Johnson to the free throw line, a 72% free throw shooter. So, boy, they're even getting all the breaks. But you know what? You make your breaks over the course of a game.
And Bill Greer's club has made more breaks than Kentucky. I mean, that was a gamble pass that his kids threw. But then once Kentucky got the control of the basketball, they weren't tough enough to take it to the other end. I mean, the game's on the line. They still had a chance, and they turned it right back over. The building process continues for Billy Gillespie at Kentucky, and it is a slow, painful process for he and the staff and the Bluegrass faithful right now.
Which hurts more, the loss to Gardner-Webb or possibly this loss to San Diego?
That's a great question. I think because Jasper and Meeks played in this ball game, and they're hopefully to get a hope of what we're going to be and good practices and the emphasis of getting all about, but they will. This guy can still flat out coach, but today San Diego has made more good plays.
Ginty fouled there by Crawford, and Crawford has fouled out of the game. He'll leave with 10 points, and Ginty will go back to the free throw line. You talked about that Pitino team. Kentucky just snapped a 4-game losing skid, beating Tennessee Tech the other night, 69-47. That was Kentucky's longest losing streak since the 89-90 season. A span of 17 years, and at 89-90 season, Pitino's first as head coach.
I love the story for this kid on the free throw stripe. Devin Ginty had played a total of 38 minutes, a freshman walk-on prior to this game. And how many points does he have now?
Ginty now with 18.
How about that?
4 threes.
Unbelievable.
He had taken 8 shots all year long. Stevenson throws it up and it goes.
Again, steal or a foul. And 1 second at most, you go off the clock. You got a foul. You got a foul. There's no reason to let this clock run.
Jackson tied up, gets it to Jones over the timeline.
There's no reason for all this time to be going off the clock. Absolutely no reason.
Let's send it back to Scott Reese at our studio. Scott?
That is a 36-second timeout.
First he did it at UTEP and Texas A&M. He's got his work cut out for him here against Kentucky. And again, 4 or 5 seconds run off the clock.
You have to practice on how to foul. You know, I mean, you expect kids to understand the importance of it, but it's one of those things that you have to teach. This is how we foul when we're trailing, and this is how quickly you have to do it, and this is how we do it.
Tennessee with a 2-zip advantage over Gonzaga and Seattle. Again, we'll take you to that game immediately following the conclusion of this contest. Brandon Johnson with now a new career high, 27. Meeks tied up, throws it up, misses everything. And then Meeks commits the foul.
San Diego was the better team for 40 minutes. Kentucky showed some signs in the first half. The enthusiasm and the energy they got when Derek Jasper came onto the floor for the first time, and maybe a glimpse of what they're going to try to become in January, February, March. But San Diego was a better team from tip to horn.
Kentucky will fall to 5-3 here at Rupp Arena this year, and that's not very good. When you look back at Kentucky history at home, where they've won well over 80% of their ball games.
Well, I salute Bill Greer and his staff for bringing a club in here from the WCC that's 6-8 and now going to go to 7-8, and convincing his kids that they can win in Rupp Arena, regardless of how strong of a Kentucky team it is. For Bill Greer to take his club from San Diego and bring him in here in front of 23,000 and win, I salute the coaching job of Bill Greer in this ball game.
And that is all she wrote. San Diego pulls off the upset, knocking off Kentucky 81-72. Up next here on ESPN2, more college hoops. 12th ranked Tennessee.